Okay. Uh, Scene 10. I don't fucking know. Anyways, so I'm back. It's been a little bit. It's been a few days. I've just been working, honestly. You know, being my beautiful brown self. Throwing up that freight at the job and shit. But um, today, my dear Americans here, I didn't come here to brag about how nice, big, and brown I am. I've actually come here to speak a little something about something crazy that's been happening. So apparently, our fear of a president here has essentially, in the most kindest ways I can put this, kind of been wanting to get war powers, like wartime powers. Apparently, bro and his pals just attacked some Venezuelan drug cartel boys. I know. I'm just jumping out of my seat too. Um, ¿Quieres? ¿Qué quieres decir con eso, Fuhrer? Like, what in Jesus are you doing? What are you doing? Buddy, listen, I don't care what your stance on drugs is, no matter how crazy or logical or however you would describe it, how radical and conservative. Buddy, you can't just go around other people's people, especially with other nations. Like, hold on, are you insane? This dude is a freaking maniac. And anyone that supports this man is equally as crazy. You're gonna. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put on a scene here, but literally, I gotta link it. I'll link the articles that I was looking at, but dog, literally going to try to manufacture some war here or some conflict to grant him wartime powers, him and his buddies, you know, Fuhrer Trump and his buddies. Do you guys not remember how the German big mustache man came into power? He was he was elected roundaboutly. He was elected into office, and through the Reichstag burning the hell down, he was able to essentially use that momentum to uh, create what is the Reichstag fire decree? I believe it was called something about that, something around there. I'll put the correction on the screen, and pretty much it was over. Like it was literally over. After that, there was nothing they could really do. It was a little bit more complicated than that. There was a few more things that followed, but yeah, you know, Mustache Man and his party in the cabinet or not cabinet, the parliament, they were unstoppable. That was it. Do you guys realize this is the same exact shit that this man, Donald J. Trump, the Führer in chief, and his buddies are trying to pull? And then on top of that, they're trying to I'm sure we've all heard by this point the whole government shutdown thing, right? And let me just be the first of many to say, no, this is not normal, okay? This isn't healthy. This ain't helping nobody. And on top of that, I gotta link the other article that I was looking into, that I was looking about earlier. So, of course, these politicians in Washington are eating fucking steaks and drinking $750 wine. Meanwhile, these federal workers are going unpaid, y'all. Like, people that work for you. And I could get some of them wrong here, but this should throw some examples of what at least I think a federal job is, to the best of my knowledge and experience. The United States Postal Service. That's a federal job right there. They're going unpaid. Fucking who any environmental agencies, I would imagine, any social security offices, I would imagine. Again, I'll have to double check and look this up, but that means they're all potentially getting unpaid, all because of one man, his party, and his arrogance. And his people don't even believe his shit. They just keep eating it because it's all they're used to. Like, are you kidding me? This dude is literally out here about to start conflict with other potential, or excuse me, potential conflicts with other nations, with other territories. And we're gonna sit here and act like this is fine. Y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, this is shit that previous administrations would have kept severely under wraps if they even wanted to attempt to do this. This man's like, fuck it. Actually, I'm the president. I'm the best president there ever was. I have the biggest dong, and I'm going to do whatever I want. And there's nothing you can do because you're going to keep eating my shit. That's exactly what that man thinks right now, y'all. And like, listen, I say throughout all my videos, okay, I'm pretty happy to be alive. Or, well, I need to start saying that. I don't know why I act like I have, but I'm very happy to be alive. I feel like I've got some good things going for me in my life, and I don't plan on going anywhere. I really don't. So, if you know, you know. But I'm just saying, like, come on, y'all. Like, look at what the fuck is happening. How long are we gonna sit here and act like this false narrative is fine? Like, okay, this is fine. It's just dudes in Washington, long swinging at each other. Like, no, bud. Like, healthcare is going up through the wazoo, more expensive than it already is. They literally do not care if you just get sick and croak. They don't care. These Republican fuckers in office, they do not care about you. And as I would always say, you could make the argument that any politician doesn't care about you. And I would say, yeah, to an extent, that's right. But, I mean, come on, guys. At the very least, can we have some decency to realize what's going on and admit, yeah, this is not right? Like, come on, you can't justify this, man. I don't care if you're against drugs or for drugs, or if you don't like a certain type of peoples, or you do like a certain type of peoples. Again, I'm not, if the shoe fits, but there's no way in hell you're gonna sit here and tell me that any of this is normal. There's no, or at least healthy. I don't like using normal. I say healthy, but this is fucking insane. There's no way. Like, listen outside. Do you hear that? People are driving by. Couples are laughing and whatnot. I'm sitting here making YouTube videos. Like, we're all, as working class people, still doing our best to get by and just enjoy life. Now, if we can do just barely that with such little that we have, imagine what we could do together, empowering each other, and on top of that, being able to actually afford to live. We shouldn't be working for money. Money should be working for us, my fellow working class Americans. We shouldn't be sitting here worried about, oh, am I gonna be able to afford to go to a fucking doctor next week? Oh, am I gonna be able to afford that birthday gift I wanted to give my daughter? Oh, can I afford to miss one alarm clock, potentially lose my fucking job? Like, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. We all deserve more. I don't care if you're Republican, Democratic, and if we're gonna be that type of, or we're gonna go that deep. If you are quote unquote Antifa, quote unquote MAGA, whomsoever you are, far, left, right, and center, I don't care who you are. You're one of us, man. You deserve more. And I'm sorry you've had a very, very terrible relationship with these politicians, all of us, honestly, that don't give a fuck about us. And I would say that at some point in time, we all have to say that we all have kind of fell complacent to this very toxic relationship narrative of how we see our politicians. Listen, our politicians are people just like us. However, they should be working for the people like us, not against us. Never that. And with that being said, I think that all of us really do need to start getting more involved locally, and of course wherever we can, but especially like within the actual news of what's going on, not with Fox's Fox's little seasoning, I guess you could say, Fox News' seasoning, without, like, from multiple different viewpoints, from multiple different angles. Just, we really need to acknowledge this, y'all. Like, I really can't sit here and say, oh yeah, I can just go to sleep knowing all this. No, I don't care how far politically correct or wrong you are. I don't care if you don't care about politics or not. That is just that toxic relationship talking to you that we have been living in for so long. And this is exactly why the lesser of two evils will never work. You cannot just sit here and say, "Oh, just vote on the guy who's less evil." He's still evil, bud. He or she. I mean, shit. People literally were willing to vote a felon over a black woman. Shocker, I know. And then, like, can we just can we lock in? Like, I could really just go on all night, but I really don't want to. I want to make this quick. Like, can we lock in humanity? Can we lock in, bruh? Like, what the hell is going on? America, my fellow Americans, red, blue, green, whatever, like, can we please lock in, bruh? Can we please at least all agree, yeah, we have different viewpoints, but we're all getting hoed. Like, every single one of us is getting absolutely just millie walked on, bruh. Like, they are literally wiping their boom bums with dollar bills and our little liberal tears, quote unquote. Because that's the reality of it. If you're one of Trump's lackeys or a MAGA, you're literally just like a fan that he's waving for air. The second that you don't meet the requirements of complete compliance and you're inconvenient, up, okay, you're unqualified, you don't know what you're talking about, bye bye. Like, y'all, that is a dictator. That is not a president. You can't just sit here and just boom, 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 all this stuff because you don't like it, you don't understand it, you don't respect it, or you don't want it. You're supposed to be doing what's in the best interest for the country, for all of us. And I think it's time that we all really start to recognize it's a shame for God what presidents really used to be and what they've become now. Little more than a goddamn high school competition of like fucking egotistical meat swinging. Like, literally had Abraham Lincoln with the American Civil War, even though, again, if it wasn't for Frederick Douglass and the pressure of Europe coming in on the southern side, I mean, we probably wouldn't have either won that war or made it about emancipation in the first place, I would argue. Or we had presidents like JFK with the Cuban Missile Crisis, which admittedly was probably one of the most embarrassing defeats in U.S. history. Or, can't say I want to say can't say defeat because we invaded them, but at the same time they pushed us back. So technically, it wasn't like a war. It didn't matter that it was a war. We still lost. So yeah, the whole Cuban Missile Crisis, where we trained up all those Cuban exiles and tried to, make them kind of take back Fidel Castro and his regime back in Cuba back in the day. And, excuse me, that's the Bay of Pigs invasion. I was playing Black Ops 1. I'm sorry. The Cuban Missile, I was completely wrong. That is the Bay of Pigs invasion. I'm sorry. But the Cuban Missile Crisis is when essentially there were Soviet missiles found in, excuse me, in across the coast of Florida in Cuba. Excuse me, that's the Cuban Missile Crisis. And the West freaked the fuck out because we had missiles somewhere in Europe, I believe. I gotta put that on screen. I'm sorry, I don't remember that specific part. To be transparent, and long short, we almost, kind of had World War III, and that was in the Cold War, but didn't happen because tensions were able to be eased between the both of them because I believe last minute communications came down, and Khrushchev, if I remember correctly, was the president. Or no, I think it was Mikhail Gorbachev, excuse me. When he was president of Russia, Russia's top guy, he's like, yeah, if you removed your missiles from Cuba, we remove ours. Or if you, I think it was Turkey. I could be wrong, but if you removed yours from Turkey, we remove ours from Cuba. Like, insane. I just listed two insane specific feats of John Kennedy right there. I mean, like, how can you not care? And that's just, again, just three quick things off the top of my head that I know about. Because I for one, am definitely getting more interested in history because unlike some folks that say, ugh, it's just politics, it's the history of our nation and why we exist today. Listen, I'm not saying you gotta be ecstatic, excuse me. I'm not saying you gotta be ecstatic about it, but you should at least respect it. Just saying. I think that every American should have a basic respect for our history, where we actually come from, and what we should be. What we should be. What we should be is for the common man, for each other, for each man and woman across the nation, no matter. No matter our differences in political ideologies, orientations, or whatever, we all should be standing with each other. We all know this is fucking ridiculous. Stop to your you know whom. Okay, I'm sorry, I might have to censor that because I might go crazy. But stop doing that to the Fuhrer in chief, Mr. J. Trump, Donald J. Trump over there, and let's start acting like we have some damn sense again. Like this guy should have been impeached yesteryear. Like we don't have to have an undying loyalty to these guys. Like I love Harry Truman; he's my favorite president. But I mean, well, he did start branches like the CIA, and I think the FBI. Actually, no, I think the FBI was around way before Truman was around. But and he also started the Korean War, which I argue is the reason North Korea is the way it is because of our American involvements in the Korean War. But that's for a deeper episode. In fact, that might be the first big history thing that I give on this channel here. Just call it a flashback. Look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. They got a baby crying in the background. What's going on there? Well, I'm gonna try to. Let's see. I don't know if this will work or not. I don't think it will. I think I'm still recording. Yeah. Well, okay, so it just went over. Okay. I don't know, man. My fucking Galaxy Buds just decided to finally kind of kick into the thing I was asking about. But, anyways, like I said, I want to wrap this up by just saying to every single one of us out there, no matter where you lean, man, like, we need to lean on each other at least. Like, this is getting absolutely fucking ridiculous. And I don't know how, no matter if you fought for this country, if you've had relatives that have died for this country, if you've been here for your whole life for 5 minutes, I don't know how anyone can sit here and be fine with this. And if you are going to sit here and say this is okay or I don't care, then you are just as bad as the rest of them, man. And I mean that. Like, if you're going to remember compliance, oh, excuse me. Ooh, silence is compliance, excuse me. Whenever you don't use your voice, there's no power in it. That's why the First Amendment exists, so you can use that voice, like I'm using to right now. You don't when you're not saying anything, it's essentially you not having the right to speak. In a sense, you could argue. It's actually crazy how many Americans talk all this nonsense behind closed doors, but the second it's time to say something for reals or agree with each other, God forbid, then yeah. But all I have to really say is it stand up, America. Like we need to all stand up. This is absolutely insane. Like, are you gonna really sit here and let these corporate douchebags keep just knocking us down, literally just elbowing us down on some creed shit? It's insane. Listen, we all need to stand up and we all need to realize we're being hoed. We are being exploited so bad. Literally every single one of us deserves better. We should not be going through shit like this for no reason. And like I said, I have a lot of love for myself and my life. So again, I have no intentions in leaving. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that know why I say that. But like, I just can't, man. Like, this is absolutely insane. I have personal friends who sit here and just act like, oh, it's just politics. You just get political again. You know him, and it's like, buddy, how can you sit here and say this is okay? That's my question of the day. Anyways, that's my black ass perspective. um, I guess I should try to do the outro here. I guess that would make sense, huh? Well, I just say, if I did resonate with you in any way, shape, or form, leave a comment down below. I would love to read what you have to say as long as it's not some incoherent, rude garbage. You know what I mean? If you have something to say, I'll respond to what you got to say, positive or negative. Hit that like or dislike if you disagree with me. I know. There are people that can disagree with me. It's a shocker. I don't understand it myself. See, that's how our president sounds. I'm not gonna lie. Jesus. Anyways, and I mean, hit that follow button, man. Like I said, is I want to at the very least say I was able to try. You know what I mean? Like I want to at least say I tried to speak up. I tried to do my part. And at the end of the day, I feel like that should count for something. And that's not to get like a sympathy, like subscription from me, but I'm just saying, like I'm doing this not even just for the subscribers or nothing, man. I'm doing this because I feel like we can't just like we can't all ignore it, okay? Some of us just aren't as mentally strong as you, bro, against the wokeness. God, how woke has lost its word. How it used to actually mean being aware of what was happening around you, especially within your government, has somehow been like trans, transmogged into some stuff like basically like derogatory meanings for minorities. Like it's insane, or like things that support equity and inclusion of minorities and etc. etc. Ugh. No one even started saying anything about DEI, separate topic, until the Führer started spitting it out of his fucking mouth. Just saying. Ask how many Americans what DEI even was before 2025 even like started. I promise you, not as many Americans even know what it is, and I promise you, a lot of them still don't fucking know. But maybe we'll explore that in another episode. Anyways, this is episode 2, and that is shall I say it? That's a black perspective for you. And again, let me know what you think. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a dislike, and I will catch up with y'all in the next video, the next time. Until then, please stay safe, everyone. Please lean on each other, and please understand we're all human trying this shit for the first time. Cut the other person some slack and be a little bit more open minded to things. I'm not saying you have to accept everything, okay? I'm not gonna force it down your throat, but just think, okay, maybe they could be right, or maybe I don't, maybe I'm wrong, or even no, maybe I should know more about that. Like, knowledge truly is power, my friends, and there's nothing worse for society than a dumbass. Later.